I'm back. Okay, so it has been interesting this week. I always find myself going through a lot of emotions whenever my girls are gone. And I'm not really sure why that is. Maybe because it's so quiet in the house and there's nothing else for me to do. And I guess it's just like it's hard because I think a lot. I think a lot. And it's just sometimes it just gets to be overwhelming and I think myself into a depression in a sense. Like the whole thing with the schools and them sending us teachers back to school with no like I just feel like being thrown out to the wolves with nothing. You know what I'm saying? They give you like a flashlight and say, "Here, you're going out to the woods in the dark. Good luck, with the wild animals." You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It's really getting to me. I didn't mean for it to like start getting to me, but it's just like I don't really know how to feel about it because it's like we got out of school for less cases than there are now. There's like triple the amount, right? And then I'm not even letting my own children go back to school, but I don't know. It's the world is so uncertain, and with the climate, the racial climate, and everybody's angry. It's like you have to be careful. Like I got my gun like last year, mainly because I'm at home alone a lot, and it's country, and I have two girls. Like when I have them, and I don't have a ring, I don't have an alarm system yet, so it's like I feel like if people realize, hey, she's by herself, young woman, blah blah blah, it can be a not good situation. So you really have to be careful, and it's just, and then I got to watch, and this is the thing, I go on rabbit trails on YouTube. That's another thing. It starts from Instagram with all the stories, and then it goes into YouTube. Like I read about Wayfair like selling like big cabinets, storage cabinets with people like missing children's names on them, and they're selling them for like $10,000, $9,000, $15,000. There is all different, a godly amount of money for these cabinets, and so there's all these Wayfair people quitting or protesting, walking out. And I read one of the guy's statements. He wrote that these containers were super heavy. They were called ASAPs, meaning they had to be quickly shipped out. They were priority. It's just weird. And like there was just a slew of pictures of kids and their names, and the names were so like the same name on the Wayfair page. And it's like, and these kids' names aren't like Michelle and Jason, and they're just unique. Their last names, unique names that you're not just gonna come up with. And it was just really scary and weird. And so then I went down a rabbit trail, started from Instagram, start watching the YouTube videos. They're talking about human trafficking, sexual trafficking, and like it. So I really just got myself into a fright. I couldn't even sleep last night because all I could think about, okay, what do I do if I'm in this situation? Like that's how my mind goes. It's like, okay, if I'm by myself and there's two vans, like say I didn't park between two vans, but then when I come out the store, they're right in between, and like my car is in between them. What do I do? Like, and they say like go through your trunk or whatever, and I'm like, okay, they say if they run in the back of your car or something like that, don't stop, because that could be another thing. And so then I start thinking about, okay, what if I'm at home and then somebody breaks in my house, and there's, what do I tell the girls? Just how they tell them to hide under their bed, stay in their wrist. Like, my brain. Like, I practice, like, how quickly I can get up, get my gun, get to where I need to get to. Like, I practice these things, and, like, I start getting panicky, and the anxiety starts getting me, and it's like, I gotta breathe. Because fear, and I talked about fear before, it's the worst thing ever that you can have. And so I'm just like, just breathing it up. It's gonna be okay. Social climate right now is just, and I can feel like the energy just feels really like crazy and just not settling. So definitely need to meditate more. I've been slacking on that. I felt so much better when I was. So I'm going back to that. Definitely I pray like throughout the day. But it's like it's more of, I don't know, not staying in a state of prayer, mind prayer. It's like when I need something, you know what I mean? And so it's like sometimes I think my prayers are more, I need this, versus I'm just talking to you, God. I'm just reflecting on what I have and the good things I have. So that's something I have to think about more. I have to like start contemplating more. I saw a good show on talking about fear and stuff, and it's really actually helping me. Warrior Nun on Netflix. You have got to watch it. The best show. I mean, I hate when I binge watch things and they have one season and because it's new. It's one of the recommended ones they have, like the top 10 recommended, and I was like, I don't know. You gotta watch it. It is so good. And like the last show for the season blew my mind. And I hate it because they leave you hanging, of course. They want you to watch it again, of course. But it's just like this girl, she's a quadriplegic. She couldn't get out of bed. She got an accident when she was like 7. Her mom died. It's based in Spain. It's based around the Catholic Church and that whole belief system. These nuns, they fight demons. And the warrior nun, she's given this halo from this angel that gave their halo first to the first warrior nun. It placed in her back, and so she's able to see in the spirit world and have this power, and everything. And it's good. It's good. And the girl that ends up with this halo, she was dead, and because the person that had the halo died, there's a nun that had got the halo out of the girl that died and just needed a host for that halo. And there was a girl that was in a morgue, and she stuck that halo on the girl that the main character's back. She was dead. It brought her back to life. She can walk now. So she has like all of this, she doesn't even understand what's happened to her, and so it's basically her going with, like, once she figures out like what's going on, they try to tell her what's been happening to her. She's got a decision to make, whether or not just live her life and be free, but she's never really free, of course, and then or help the church and everything. But it's basically this halo reacts from her emotions, and she has to overcome her fear. Her fear is to become this paralyzed again, not being able to walk. But she has to face that fear. And it's like, I think, like for me, I always go deeper into things, I gotta rewatch it now that I know what happens at the end, what all the inner workings. I gotta watch it again because I feel like I missed things. But I feel like just like she had to overcome her worst fear, I think that sometimes when we think what could be the worst thing that possibly happening to us, right? It's like, say it does happen. What are you going to do? And just like her, she starts hyperventilating and she can't breathe. And it's just like fight or flight. You know what I mean? She leave whoever is supposed to be helping her and just take care of herself. And that's kind of how I am too. It's just like when you're in a state of panic and fear, it's like you only think about yourself or preserving yourself. But it's when there's power when you put others before you. You know what I mean? When you think of other people over yourself. And that's kind of what was happening. Like, that's where the power was. It's like there was power in the fact that she was weak when she only was worried about herself and was trying to like run from things because out of fear. But when she realized that she had friends and she had a support, and you know what, she'll put her life on the line for them, that's when like she was the strongest. And I was like just thinking about that today. I was like, you know what, I don't know if they meant for people to capture that or not, I don't know, but I capture that. And like for me, it's like I gotta think, what is my biggest fear? You know, could it be me catching COVID, my parents catching it, my kids catching it? You know what I'm saying? Their dad catching it, and then I have to keep them, you know, or my parents catching it, and it's just they're older. My kids catching it, and they're, you know, people saying, oh well, kids are fine, and this, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, that thought, you know, what if someone breaks my house? Like all these things. And I have to think, if those things were to happen, I still have to have faith that everything's going to be okay. I have the faith that whatever happens to me is not important. It's about everyone else. I can't care about me and how I'm going to feel. I gotta be worried about, okay, how do I help other people? How do I help the others around me, those who care about me, you know? And so that's my main concern is like, let me start focusing on others and not myself. Because then I don't have anything to fear. I'm too busy trying to help, you know, and not worry about myself and what I have going on, you know? And so it's like, I think that's our purpose. It's just like the power that we have with just taking care of one another, you know, and not just worrying about ourselves. So, I don't know. I was just musing. But it was a really good show. It's a good show. I would recommend it for sure. If you're kind of scary, like if you get scared of things, you might not want to watch it at nighttime right before bed. I don't really get afraid of things like that, or watch it with somebody. But it's really not like that bad as far as being scary. It's not. And so, I don't know, like I said, it's just like, I have everything I need. I have this guy that's wonderful. You know, my kids are healthy. You know, I have a new job. And it's like, you think you should be happy, you should be grateful. And I am. But it's like, I feel like a sadness. And it's just like, and I guess it's just my feelings about the world, you know. I think that's what it's from. You know, I just wish things were better all around for people. I just wish people would join together versus fight one another. I wish we weren't as angry. It's hot though. I feel like the heat always brings people anger though. As a teacher, you knew it was spring because that's when all the fights started happening. Forget the full moon. It was always like, oh man, it's getting hot outside. It's about to start popping off. And all the kids were like, oh, Miss Adams, there was a fight, blah, 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 in the cafeteria. And it's like, oh, Chuck, it's about to start. It's spring already. You know? And it's just like, oh, man. And so it's just, people get so heated, you know, with the summertime. And I guess the cool off, it's probably needed to, you know, when things get cooler, people tend to go inside, you know. I think the heat started bringing people out, and it's just probably wasn't the best thing. So, but maybe we all need a purge. Who knows? The purging is good. But my dude met my mom and my sister on accident. maybe it wasn't an accident. I feel like it was meant to be. You know, things happen in the right timing. I do believe in that because I just never found like it's like we never could think of like the best timing for things to meet. You know, I'd met like some of his family already, and I wanted him to meet my older sister because she's in Florida, so she's not always here. So it was like I think he was just nervous about the questions and what they're gonna ask him, and I was like, it's not gonna be what you think, you know. I said my family's really down to earth. If you're a cool person, they're gonna be cool with you. They're not gonna treat you like you should be some prince person or whatever. Like, just be yourself, you know. And so he had come to visit because he's going on his guard duty in Mississippi for 2 weeks. And so he was visiting me before he left. And so I'd made breakfast and everything. So my sister calls me and she was like, hey, we're on the way. And I was like, on the way where? I was like, excuse me, what? She's like, we're on the way. I was like, where? And she's like, to your house. I was like, oh, really? And so there she's like, yeah, I want to see the house because she was going back to Florida next day, so she wanted to see. She hadn't seen my new house yet, so and she had mom with her. And so I texted her. I was like, yeah, D's over here, blah blah blah, and he's like, wait, what? And I said, yeah, they're on the way. He goes, on the way where? He said like the same thing. I said, they're coming here. He goes, okay, so I'm gonna go walk Coda. That's my cat. And so it was just too late to react. Like it was just meant to be. And so my mom came in. She's like, uh huh. My mom is crazy. She's like, we got you. And so I was like, well, you guys want something to eat? So it was good. Like I couldn't even say anything. I was just like, it's just like a joke, you know. And so they just, you know, they asking us, you know, where are you from? What do you do? You know, just the simple things. You know, what do you like to do? You know, do you have kids? And you know, and he was fine. Like he was so funny, and like he was just himself. Like he wasn't putting on airs. He wasn't being fake. Like he was just being like himself, and I think they really saw that. You know, my sister's like, you work? You know, what do you do? He said, yeah. He's like, I'm a hard worker. I don't run from work. He said, but I don't go in the field and pick any peas. And so like, my mom is from the South Alabama, and she has worked as a sharecropper, and it's like that's her life. Like she has her garden. She picks peas. She plants. So she took me and my girls, and I was helping her pick some peas. So that's how you eat them. You have to pick them, and it's hot. And so he was like, I don't do that. He's from the city, so he's like, I'm from the city. He goes, I'll work hard. I'll do anything else, but I can't do that. And it was just funny because it just like, you know, my mom, she could be really like, you know, she kind of stays back, you know, and it was just really, she just wanted him to know that our family is a good family. We love hard. We just want you to be yourself. We'll accept you. She's like, if y'all take it to the next level, you know, she goes, we're going to accept you if you're you and you're who you are, and just be, you know, your authentic self. She goes, we're going to accept you. And she's like, that's just it. You know, and she's like, because, you know, so she was like, my older brother, he's a tough one now. My older brother, my mom is a hard one. She just act like she's not, but my older brother is cool as long as you're cool. Like, he don't like anybody that's gonna be, who thinks they're all that, and, you know, or super OS, which is over spiritual. Their heads in the clouds. They can't come back down from, you know, come back, you know, from Holy Land, you know, just be real for a minute. And then he's cool with that. My younger brother, he's very observant. He's gonna be standoffish. D and my younger brother have good, similar personalities, because they're like very observant, kind of quiet, but they talk. And so, but yeah, I think they'll be fine. So it was a funny day. It was just a funny day. And like I said, he said I had to meet them eventually. So he's ready to meet my older brother. So yeah, so it's all good. My little one, she has a birthday coming up, and so maybe some of my sadness is coming from that too. And I guess I'll talk about her birthday later. But other than that, I've been good. And that was a good laugh to bring back. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there, and hope you're feeling my look. This is my little flash for the 90s with the big hoops and my little, Tupac going on. So, till next time. Peace.